What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your licensed real estate market expert here in Charlotte. Today, we're going to talk about a couple different developments here in the Charlotte area that I am extremely excited about, and some of these are going to literally transform Charlotte. If you've been to Charlotte, if you currently live in Charlotte, you can testify to the fact that wherever you go, you're just seeing non-stop development absolutely everywhere. It's mind-boggling. Sometimes if I don't go to a certain area within 6 months or so, when I go there the next time, there's a new shopping plaza, there's a new condo apartment community, there's a new townhouse community. There's constantly developments happening in the area. And with all of the news in regards to Charlotte, our population is supposed to double by the year 2050. Will that actually happen? We'll see, but based off the numbers, that's exactly what they're projecting. But even if they don't double by 2050, even if we just get half the amount of population added to, we need places that can house all of these people. We need jobs, and we just need more development. So that's what you're seeing here in the Charlotte area happening right now. So right now we're gonna dive into these three developments that I'm personally very excited about, and I know a lot of other people are and or they will be once they hear about them. If you have any specific questions in regards to any of these developments, in regards to anything about real estate, neighborhoods, zip codes in the Charlotte area, you guys always know you can call, text, or email me anytime. I'd love to help answer any questions you may have. Now, the first development that we're going to talk about, which is one that just, the noise hasn't stopped since this was essentially released, and that is none other than the River District. The River District is going to be a master plan community, and honestly, I really don't know anything like it that we've seen because of everything that it's going to provide. The River District is located right next to Charlotte Douglas Airport, next to the Catawba River. This development is going to be over 1,400 acres in total, and it's going to provide people with absolutely everything. From retail to exercise to office spaces to things to do to the short commute to Center City, Uptown Charlotte, to the short commute to the airport because you're located right there. This community is going to be something special, and it's going to be something massive. I've had clients in the past 2 years specifically buy homes in or near this area, and I've also had investors buying in this area because it essentially is going to revitalize the West Charlotte area. So let's hop into some more details in regards to the River District. So as I mentioned, this development is going to be over 1,400 acres in total. 500 acres of that is going to be green space. So walking trails, biking trails, dog parks, community centers, access to the Catawba River. So paddleboarding, kayaking, canoeing, and a bunch of other water sports are going to be readily accessible to this area. I didn't hear anything about potential boat slips and things like that, but that's something that might come into play at a later time. There's going to be a 2-acre working farm in this area as well, which is something that I've never seen before. And essentially it's going to be farm to table food. So they're going to be doing farmers markets and things like that. So people that don't live in the community can come in and essentially buy groceries. I know a lot of the restaurants that are going to be in the mixed use retail space are going to be getting their farm fresh goods from this 2-acre farm in the community. Now, alongside of that, you're going to have a 70-acre town center at the River District. So you're going to have retail shopping, you're going to have restaurants, you're going to have dining, you're going to have coffee shops. And with that, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things to do in regards to activities, for special events, for families, and food trucks. Now let's talk about the housing, which I know a lot of people are excited about. I've had people call me a year ago trying to get on a list so they can secure a house and or a townhome in this neighborhood. So with that, there's going to be 2,300 single family homes in the community with 2,350 multi-family homes. So you're going to have single family homes, townhomes, and you're also going to have condos / apartments in this area. They're going to be ranging obviously in sizes and in price, but it looks like the single family, like always, is probably going to be the most expensive. What you can expect is, newer construction style, which it's going to be. They're going to be sitting on smaller lots because even though this is a massive community, you have so much going on within it. You're going to have a hotel in the area. You're going to have a ton of different pool houses and clubhouses and things like that for residents only to take advantage of. And the three builders that are going to be building these single families, townhomes, and apartments is David Weekly Builders. So you can see them all around Charlotte. You also have Toll Brothers, which you can also see all around Charlotte. And the last one is Saucy Burbank. I really don't know if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, but they built over 800 homes in the Carolinas, and they've been in business since the 1990s. I did go to one community, but that was a couple of years ago. I don't really remember too much about the Saucy Burbank, but there's a reason they're building within this new development. So all in all, in regards to the builders and the quality of build and what they're going to be building, I can almost guarantee that it's going to be really nice and it's all going to fit in with the rest of the community. This community is one of the most anticipated, and it is literally going to revitalize the West Charlotte area. Next up is the Iron District. So this one is a little bit tough for me, but it is going to revitalize the uptown / South End area because currently what's sitting there is Charlotte Pipe and Foundry. So the Iron District is essentially going to bridge uptown Center City, Charlotte, and South End. Super popular areas, super highly condensed. So there's already no lack of retail, mixed-use development, commercial, restaurants, dining. However, with the city expecting to grow a lot more, you're going to get a lot more of that from the Iron District. Just in this general area alone, you have 430,000 cars passing by daily, and this is going to add a little bit more of that depth to Center City, Uptown, Charlotte, and the South End area. And with it being located right next to the Panthers Stadium, there's going to be even more things to do, eat, work, and play within the area. The Panthers are also doing that big $800 million renovation to the stadium that should keep them in the Charlotte area and not in South Carolina for the next 20 years. So the Iron District is going to be 55 acres of mixed-use commercial space. So with that, you can expect a lot of the same things that Uptown and South End already provide. More retail shopping, more restaurants, more breweries, more things to do, but it's still going to revitalize the area because right now it's Charlotte Pipe and Foundry, which is essentially just a factory. So phase one is expected to start really soon here in the next couple of months and expected to end in 2027. So what phase one includes is going to be a 150 room hotel, 500 residential units, 100,000 square feet of retail space, and 150,000 square feet of office space. As if we didn't have enough office space in those areas already, more are coming. And again, with the expansion, with the growth, all of this is going to be warranted and all of this is going to be needed. I'm just excited because this is kind of bridging the gap. And if you've been around the Panthers Stadium on that side of Uptown Charlotte, there are some things going on, but nothing quite like what the Iron District is going to bring to this area. Now we're going to jump into a development that's a much smaller than both of these other developments. However, it's very important because of the location. And in this area, if you've ever driven on Providence Road from 51 and just heading down Providence Road, you have multi-million-dollar homes on that street, and out of nowhere you just see this big apartment complex that's essentially run down, and then there's this whole cemented area that's just completely left with nothing there. But all around you have houses in the multi-millions, amazing area. You're right next to South Park Mall. McAlpine Creek Greenway is right there. And finally, Charlotte Council has approved these plans for Providence Square. So this is going to be located off of Providence Road and Old Providence Road. And again, this area just felt somewhat abandoned, which it was just out of place. It didn't make any sense. So again, we're going to bring more residential units. We're going to bring more shopping and things like that to this area. The only thing I'm worried about, because I live somewhat close to this area, is the traffic. And obviously, with all of these other developments that we're talking about, traffic in Charlotte just has been getting worse and worse every year for the last 5 or 6 years or so. So I'm very curious what's going to happen. But in regards to this project, it's a $70 million project. So this development is expected to have 220 townhomes with 1,500 condos and apartments, grocery stores, retail space, and of course, you guessed it, more office space. And the first phase is supposed to start here relatively soon and be done within the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm just very curious how this is going to pan out. You're looking at 220 townhomes and over 1,500 condos and apartments. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this shapes up, because all of these areas that we already talked about, all these new developments, they're already very busy. Now we're adding a lot more to this, but again, with the population expected, anticipated to double here in the next 25 years, we need the housing. I don't know if we're going to need the office space, but obviously people need places to work. These are just some of the biggest developments that are happening in Charlotte, but there's going to be plenty more, and there are plenty more already in the works. If you guys have any specific questions for me, again, call, text, or email me anytime. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.